If you're a heat and air conditioning technician, what's something that you could do wrong that's going to cost a sale, and why does it matter? This is a fantastic question. I'm Scott Somerville, coming to you live for HVAC technician sales secrets on a perfect day to talk about sales and business, and a fantastic day to talk about you. Okay, so here's the thing. How you set a lead really does matter, and the conversations that you have with your business owners or homeowners or Mr. Smith, Mr. Jones, Mrs. Jones really does matter. And not all the time do you understand their needs, their problems, and their issues. And they may open up to you and tell you what's going on. And not all the time do you know their budget constraints. So here's what happens is sometimes when technicians are brand new or they just get into the field and they're flipping leads, they pick the system that they would choose for their home. So they may go buy the lowest level piece of equipment that you can get, not realizing that you got a salesperson coming out there and they're held to a standard, okay? So your standard is I set a lead. Their standard is the homeowner's happy or the business owner's happy when the job is done. So the tech never hears the complaints about this thing's didn't save me money on my energy bills. This thing's not cooling properly. This thing's not heating properly. I'm not getting airflow. The tech doesn't hear that. The salesperson does. And the reason that this is a big deal is when you're setting leads for the first time, like you may be budget conscious for the things that you have going on in your life, and you may have your own beliefs. Now, here's the thing. I live in Sacramento. I'm going to give you some Sacramento designs. Change this accordingly to wherever you are. There's a lot of two-story houses here in town that have zoning systems that were designed by a singular company. There was one company from like 1990 till about a couple of years ago that literally put in 99% of the installs in Sacramento. Like if you go to a brand new development, you had a 99% chance that this was the company that was going to do it. And they have a proprietary design for zoning. And since it is, there's a lot of single stage equipment on zoning all over Sacramento, which was fine for a PSC motor, which was fine for some of the compressors back in the day. I say fine. It shouldn't have been done, but they did it as a cheater design. And you need to know that realistically, going back with a piece of equipment, a lot of times that zoning has to be replaced. A lot of times that those zone motors and the damper motors and the zone boards have to be replaced. And so what that means is you're going to end up going with two-stage equipment or variable speed furnaces. Like you can't technically replace like for like with single stage, not with the way the equipment works anymore. I really don't want to argue with anybody. So if you're like, well, on a Wednesday on a full moon, we could do it. Like, no, don't go down this path, right? And so like if you go to a home and it's a two-story and it's got zone, part of your job is to say, hey, look, make sure to talk to your comfort advisor, design consultant, salesperson about two-stage equipment, okay? Make that job easy for them. And this right here is why you should join HVACTechSecrets.com. I'll give you the goods, not in the Facebook group, not in the YouTube channel. Go to that URL, HVACTechSecrets.com, and just join my email publication. So your role and responsibility, if you're going to set the lead, is to make it as easy as possible for the person who's coming out by explaining, like, look, back in the day, they put a lot of single-stage equipment on zoning systems. In order for it to work right, you really need two-stage equipment. It's got to be variable speed because you're shutting down half of the equipment. In Sacramento, heads up, we can't put bleeder valves on the equipment. The county won't let it happen, okay? They don't want to see it. You can make it happen. They don't want to see it. So they don't want to see bypass or dump zones. They want to see like it's truly a zone system. And some of Title 24 will say don't allow it either. You got to be aware that your conversation has weight. Your conversation has gravity to what's going to happen in the sales process. Oh, Jim was out and he said we should really take a look at two-stage equipment based upon us having zone. Like is completely different than we only want single-stage equipment. We want the cheapest thing possible. Like there are times where homeowners have to be told, you bought a big house. You bought a big house, which means you have big bills. You bought the most expensive home. You're gonna have to get a system that is gonna be tied to how that is. It's not gonna be an on and off switch system. It's gonna be something that's got two speeds or variable speeds or multi-stage. We can't go back to this route anymore. And you don't want me to, right? Be aware that your conversation, this really does make a difference. You got one of three things to do from here. Just one of three. Find the subscribe button, click on it. Every time I send out a video, you'll get an update. 2, hit follow. 3, you know what you got to do. Share this video with a friend. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.